Welcome back. Today, the focus turns to a predator whose mere presence can shift the balance. Lions do not need to run far. They wait for the precise moment to unleash a decisive burst of speed. Across the open plains, every step forward is calculated against wind, terrain, and distance. And when the opportunity arrives, the hunt closes faster than the prey can fully process. Once two lions lock into position, the plain seems to hold its breath. But the wildebeest does not surrender. It drives its full weight and momentum into a powerful turn. Within seconds, the balance shifts and a narrow path to survival opens. Determination and timing can sometimes rival raw strength. An aging lion quietly faces three younger challengers. This is no longer a hunt, but a transition of power. The coordination of the new generation creates sustained pressure, forcing the former ruler to step back. Pride dynamics are never personal. They favor collective strength and future lineage. The attack begins when a zebra stands alone in the open. But the defensive reaction comes faster than expected. A precise backward kick disrupts the entire approach. A safe gap forms in an instant. Not every ambush ends as planned. This time, the advantage belongs to the buffalo herd. When one individual is threatened, the group forms a coordinated defensive ring without hesitation. The lion is no longer in control and must find a way out of mounting pressure. The strength of buffalo lies not in the individual, but in their unity when protecting one another. Three male lions swim across what appears to be calm water. When a hippo surfaces, the atmosphere changes immediately. A brief close approach sends a clear message about territory and limits. In river environments, understanding boundaries is the key to avoiding unnecessary risk. An oryx antelope stands firm within the encirclement, its long horns angled like twin spears. The first counter move forces the lions to adjust their strategy. Only persistence and coordination gradually create an advantage. In a contest between strength and strategy, the side that adapts faster shapes the outcome. The extended chase makes escape less effective as an option. The nyala stops and turns, transforming a short distance into a defensive advantage. Its horns rise like a boundary that cannot be crossed. The lioness hesitates, recognizing there is no safe angle left. At times, standing firm at the right moment is the most effective escape. An attempted approach on a zebra falls short, even leaving strain in the lion's leg. Yet instinct does not allow a long pause. The next attempt comes faster and more decisively, shifting focus to a more vulnerable target. In the wild, adapting after a setback is a critical survival skill. A lion weakened after a clash with buffalo now moves cautiously across the grassland. When strength declines, the role of predator becomes fragile. Hyenas appear, patient and observant. The ecosystem holds no bias, only balance maintained through each link in the chain. A male lion surges toward a young buffalo within sight of the herd. Within seconds, adults turn back, forming a wall of horns and pressure. Momentum reverses, and the lion withdraws to avoid greater risk. Collective defense remains the buffalo's greatest strength. The wildebeest does not flee. It turns to face the predator, but a slightly delayed reaction quickly erases its advantage. Even a minor shift in condition can change the outcome. In nature, health and timing move hand in hand with survival. Surrounded from multiple sides, the wildebeest suddenly launches through a narrow gap. The precise leap disrupts the lion's formation. Distance is restored within a few critical seconds. At times, a decisive burst matters more than numbers. Two male lions quietly approach a grazing buffalo herd. A sudden surge forward seems to seal the prey's fate. But the herd turns back quickly, forming a unified counterpressure. In the wild, every hunt becomes a test between strategy and collective resolve. The balance shifts within a few brief moments. When the ground no longer feels secure, the lion is forced to search for another escape. Climbing a tree is not a victory, but an acknowledgement of disadvantage. Individual strength cannot withstand the pressure of a closing collective force. In nature, survival sometimes means withdrawing at the right time. The lioness appears to hold the advantage, yet the long horns of the oryx create a clear no-entry zone. Each step forward meets precise and powerful defense. When risk outweighs reward, the predator hesitates. Nature respects those capable of protecting themselves. The presence of a male lion immediately heightens the rhino's alertness. Without waiting for a clear signal of danger, it moves forward to secure its space. With heavy yet forceful strides, the rhino drives the opponent farther away. Early prevention is always safer than allowing conflict to escalate. Resting in the grass, the lion suddenly notices two rhinos approaching. After a brief assessment, it chooses to move away rather than challenge their immense weight. Not every opportunity is worth the risk. Clear judgment sustains dominance longer than any display of force. The riverbank becomes a fragile boundary between two environments. Numbers favor the lions, yet the crocodile maintains its position with controlled body turns. Each step forward narrows the margin of safety. With water directly behind it, returning to familiar terrain becomes the strategic choice. In the open landscape, the leopard finds itself isolated. The lions do not rush. They gradually tighten control instead of charging into disorder. Every movement of the lone animal is limited by numbers and positioning. On the plains, imbalance in formation often shapes the outcome before any counteraction begins. One precise leap is not enough to break through the formation. Approach paths close in, dividing the prey's run into shrinking segments. The measured coordination of the predators forms a tight structure. As options narrow, survival becomes a contest of strategy and endurance. Open ground offers no place to hide for long. The pack of wild dogs increases pressure, attempting to split the target. The lioness holds her position, maintaining the line of confrontation to create space for her cub to withdraw. In that moment, strategy is not about counterattack, but about protecting the boundary that matters most. Hearing excited calls near the edge of his territory, the male lion approaches with the calm of a dominant presence. He recognizes that with adult wild dogs absent, the competitive balance shifts in his favor. No extended chase is needed. His presence alone is enough to apply pressure. At the water's edge, a lone lioness faces a tightening circle of wild dogs. She lowers her body and angles her hindquarters toward the water to limit attack routes. There is no panic, no wasted motion, only careful calculation in every step. Remaining composed under pressure becomes her greatest advantage. Tall grass conceals the final movement before the balance shifts. The lioness does not waste energy on speed. She waits for a brief opening and closes the distance in one controlled advance. The entire pack hesitates, understanding that even a small mistake could carry consequences. Decisiveness only succeeds when timed precisely. What seems finished opens again through an unexpected reaction. The wild dog remains motionless under intense pressure, briefly disrupting the lion's control. In a narrow opening, it springs up and clears the danger zone. In the wild, awareness can create opportunities that strength alone cannot. When the pack of wild dogs moves away from the area, the lioness quietly steps in. The difference in size creates a clear advantage over the younger, weaker individuals. On the savanna, competition is not only about the present meal, but about the next generation. Survival is always tied to long-term strategy. The appearance of the lion immediately heightens alertness around the den. Urgent calls echo as the wild dogs attempt to keep the intruder at a distance from their young. This time, however, the lion simply walks past without stopping. Not every encounter leads to conflict. Sometimes it is only a brief overlap of territories. Surrounded by a dense circle, the lioness maintains a steady stance. Her weight and confidence force every close approach to stop at a safe limit. The wild dogs continue to test the boundary, but find no weakness to exploit. Not every numerical advantage is enough to break a solid center. A short rest is interrupted by movement drawing too close. The male lion rises, and that alone is enough to shift the atmosphere. The wild dogs weigh loyalty against the risk of escalation. There are limits that survival instinct demands be respected. Each hunt becomes a test of endurance, strategy, and timing. The wild does not favor the strongest alone. It rewards those who seize the right moment. Thank you for staying through today's journey. Subscribe to continue exploring more intense encounters in the natural world.